Hey, you guys. Um, I've been trying to figure out what to do for my videos. I wish that it was a little bit easier to put the exact song that I want to, because a lot of times I just feel like it would be cool if I could actually show you what I've been listening to. For Patreon, I can kind of do that because it doesn't really matter if there's copywritten content. I can just post whatever I want. But now that I've been releasing these to YouTube a couple months later, I kind of want to make sure I can actually post them and not have it removed. Um, I was scrolling through my Instagram earlier today because that whole Best Nine thing has been coming around again, and so I was doing mine for this year. And I was curious to see how I had grown, like how much I had grown from that point to now. And I was just looking and I kind of realized just how much I have grown as a person. I feel like sometimes if you're a little bit too close to what you're doing, and if you're doing it in the way that I am right now, where your days literally revolve around art, it's kind of hard to see your progress. Like, I feel like it's kind of the same as if you had a child and they're growing and you can't really notice a difference unless you mark the progress on a wall. That's kind of where I've been at now. And it's just, it kind of blows my mind what I've been able to do. Like, last year around this point, I was kind of in a space in spirituality within myself where I was kind of thinking, it doesn't really matter the years. Like, it would bother me, the whole New Year's resolution thing, because to me, technically, time hasn't stopped. It's continuing. Your life doesn't automatically, metamorphosize. But, I mean, that was my thinking last year, but then I started looking back. It really does matter. Like, having year-sized chunks of your life, especially now with social media, actually being able to go back and look on them is amazing. Like, look at your own history, essentially. But I realized that having split up years makes such a difference in your life if you're able to actually look back and honestly tell yourself where you've grown without being too self-critical about it. I would have never dreamed, even just 2 years ago when I started my Instagram, I would have never dreamed I would be able to create the things I'm creating now. Like, when I had just started, I was really big on reproducing images, like photorealism, and that had been primarily how I would do art for my entire life. Actually, I would always just take pictures out of magazines or like pause a movie I was watching and just use that as reference. But it's crazy, somewhere along the line I finally developed a style, and it's one of those things that I get asked a lot, and I asked other people a lot when I had first started making my Instagram channel. How do you find your style? How do I get my own personal style? And I just kind of realized it's not something that you can force out of yourself. Literally, the only way that you can stumble upon your style is to create every single day, and not to get so consumed with what something is supposed to look like. Rather, I feel like it's more important as an artist to think what I want something to look like. What do you want to portray to the world? What is in your head that you want people to see? And somewhere along the lines, I guess, my art kind of just took its form. Like, I guess if I wanted to say what's my personal style, like, I'm just really big on throwing as many details into something as I can. Like, if I'm not able to do that, if I'm not able to decorate something to my liking, I just hate it and I don't want to look at it. But the second I can throw in fabrics and textures, I just want to be able to show people that you can do that with a pencil. Like, there is so much potential for just a pencil. With this drawing, it's actually, you can see pictures in the video. I think it's a Sandro Botticelli Virgin with Christ painting. I was kind of scrolling through, and I knew that I had wanted to do Christmas cards. I just didn't know what exactly they were gonna look like. All I knew for certain was that I did not want it to be Santa Claus. I did not want it to be Christmas trees and elves. I wanted it to be, I don't know, like, I'm just obsessed with old religious paintings, like especially Catholic art. And I feel like I always end up coming back to themes like that, like the stigmata I love to draw in my drawings. When I was a kid, actually, I would watch the movie Stigmata. I can't remember what the actress's name is. She's the actress that looks a lot like the actress in Bates Motel. I'm so horrible with names. I honestly have given up trying to. Yeah, I've given up trying. But yeah, when I was a kid, I would watch that movie. And I was really religious as a child, like really, really religious. Sunday school, the whole shebang, like church every Sunday, sometimes twice a week. So I feel like I remember being told something along the lines of the more pure, I guess, you are, the more at risk you are of having the stigmata inflicted upon you, which I don't think that's necessarily true. I've seen it come up in Nip Tuck. Me and Oliver have been watching Nip Tuck, which is an amazing TV show. You really need to watch it if you haven't. We're kind of in like the fifth season rut though with the TV show where it kind of starts trickling down. But the beginning is amazing. They had a scene with the stigmata in that TV show, and she was supposed to be a prostitute, and she had the stigmata, and then in the movie Stigmata, the girl is supposed to be like loose, quote unquote, like she goes out and parties, like she has a lot of sex, she's just very free. But I guess in the movie they were kind of portraying that as being sin. And so to me I think that it's not actually the way that I thought it was when I was a kid. But anyways, long rant about the stigmata. I love stigmata and I love Catholic art, so even though I'm not religious anymore, I hate to say that, like I am an extremely spiritual person, and I always have been my entire life, but when I was a child, I was, like I said earlier, like I was brought up very Christian, and church was just a really big part of my life. I actually kind of want to, maybe if I can find a picture of me and my siblings in our Sunday school clothes, I might insert a picture here so you can see us. We're very cute. But yeah, I've struggled so much with religion over my life, and I guess this is kind of like a topic I shouldn't really be talking about in a video, but I have no bad things to say. I really don't have too many bad things to say. I feel like every religion in the world that I know of anyways, that I have, my limited amount of knowledge about, they all seem to say the exact same things when you dig deep enough. Like when you push past all like the I guess societal conditioning that can be injected into religion, when you push past all of that and you just look at all the messages and the lessons, they're all exactly the same. And I feel like my spirituality now is very much that. Like it's very much about connection. It's very much about unity with all people. It's very much about being a part of the whole. Like that's what my spirituality is, and that's why I try my best to project so much kindness to people. That's just who I am. That's what I believe. But I feel like the thing with organized religion that bothers me is that it becomes, people are just really obsessed with power. And I feel like having the power to say my religion is more accurate than yours is what causes so much destruction. And so for me as a child, even though I loved what I was being taught, I couldn't stick by because of the other few things I was being taught that I just couldn't sit with. And I think the moment for me that really did it was when I realized just how queer of a person I am. And this was something I kind of struggled with my entire childhood. Like, I had like a lot of girlfriends, like secret girlfriends when I was in elementary school because I was a player. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I really did. And I would like kiss my girlfriends, when I would have sleepovers, and it was always very like, I just kind of assumed that's just what kids do. And then I noticed something was off when all of my girlfriends started getting to an age where they were like interested in boys, and like I still wanted to kiss them. And that was something, being a very Christian person, that I struggled with and I prayed a lot about when I was younger, and I would just not want to be the way I was. But it wasn't until my best friend in high school, Timmy, he had, I mean, it was an easy situation for him. It ended up being really great with his family. But I know that at first, because of religion, it was very difficult for them to accept him. And so that was the point for me when I was just like, no, like, I can't do organized religion anymore. It's just not for me. I wanted to try and recommend a book, actually, that I've been reading. I'm out of breath and I keep like exhaling very heavily because I'm cold. And in this video, I actually have on my very fancy leather motorcycle gloves because I was really cold, and my hands when I'm working kind of cramp up, like if they're not kept warm, because I have little toothpick fingers. But anyways, yeah, that's why my voice keeps shaking. What was I saying? Oh yeah, a book. I want to recommend a book that right before I had lost my little brother earlier this year, I had kind of been getting really deep into spirituality. Like, I was reading The Four Agreements. Like, I had bought that book a little while ago, actually. I had bought that book a little while ago, and I had been searching for like some more meaning in my life, I guess. Like, I was very big on atheism when I was younger, right in that phase I was saying where I had just realized I was queer. I was trying to find my identity, like trying to try on these new roles, and at that point I had completely rejected religion, like didn't want anything to do with it. And so recently, like literally within the past few years recently, I had been trying to find some kind of spirituality again. Like, I felt like there was something missing in my life. So I started trying out a different approach, and I would read the Four Agreements, and then when I was working at this bookstore, a book kind of randomly put itself in my path, and it was called Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukov. I'm almost 100% I'm pronouncing the name wrong, but I'll do my best. But this book basically, I don't know, it just changed everything about the way I saw the world, and it changed everything about the way I saw myself in a way that no other book or no other spirituality course or whatever could have done for me. And it was the reason why I like it so much is because I've been getting into this thing where like scientists are kind of explaining on a scientific level how we're all literally connected. And to me, that's what my spirituality is. Like, it's undeniable, irrefutable proof that we are all one. And so to me, that's my main reason for going and for living. But I really, really recommend that book. It honestly helped, like I said, it helped me get through losing my little brother. And I know that if I hadn't been reading that, I would have just been lost. I want to talk about my art, because I feel like I can get very carried away with religion. I have I've got a background with it, basically. It's had a big part in my life. It's crazy watching this video. I was watching it earlier, trying to decide what I was going to say in the course of this video. It's been going pretty well. I'm a rambler, so I've been able to talk. Like, I only have 5 minutes left, so that's pretty good. It's been going well. But anyways, when I was watching this earlier, trying to decide what I would say, I was noticing how much I've grown in terms of drapery. I used to struggle really fucking hard with anything that wasn't the face. Like, for some reason, I was very dead set on believing that you can only really capture expression or, capture anything worth seeing it within somebody's face. And then once it had gotten past that to the neck, like, I was done, bored, I wanted to move on to the next face. But this whole past year, I kind of have been way more interested in clothes and textures in hands, and I think it's called Sinix Designs. Sinix, Sinix. If I can, I'll get a link and I'll try and post it down below or within this part of the video for you. But when I had just started getting into wanting to learn how to draw drapery and wanting to learn how to draw hands, without using a reference, because as you can see in this picture, I personally rely very heavily on references. Like, they help me out a lot, and because I haven't gone to art school, they are the only thing that they're what have trained me. Basically, copying photos has trained me to become a better artist. So I think if you need to use a reference photo, so many people do it. Go ahead and do it. Like, it's completely fine. Don't think that it makes you any less of an artist, because if anything, it's just gonna help you grow. Like, if you don't know what something, if you were studying something, you wouldn't say, "Oh, I'm not gonna look it up in a book how to solve this math problem because that's cheating." No, it's, you need a guide, so follow the guide. But yeah, Cynics Designs on YouTube has a lot of really, really good tutorials that'll show you, like, there's this one where he does, like, it's like a paper face. So instead of just going with a circle when you're making a face, it shows you how to do more of a cone shape, which actually it makes more sense if you're looking at a skull anyways. But he also explained drapery really well, because I would struggle trying to figure out where the pleats and folds should go. And I know this is kind of common sense, but he explained it as, try and think about the tension points within your drawing. So wherever the fabric is being pulled, draw that pleat over to that section. Yeah, that was like one of the most helpful tips, because I can actually visualize it now when I'm drawing. I'm really into what I'm doing right here on this part with the little lines. Like, I've noticed in art, if you're trying to fill up a space, using a lot of lines, it works wonders. Like, lines are so expressive. It's just such an easy way to get dimension, like when you only have one color, when it's only just a pencil or just graphite. I wanna do more things like this. It's actually, it's very, I don't know, it's nice just to be able to talk and rant, because I'm such a talkative person. I don't really get much of an option to do that in real life, because I'm such a recluse. So, I mean, I talk to beef and that's about it. But I would definitely like to do more videos where I talk to you guys. If you have any questions for me, if you want to know more about my life or more about my art, more about how I ended up where I am, I would really love to talk to you guys about stuff like that. Any knowledge that I have that's helped me get to the point that I'm at, I want to share it. Like people like Paloma, Octoplum on YouTube or on Instagram helped me so fucking much to get to where I am right now. And I don't know, I just feel like I want to be able to give back in the same way I was given to when I was first starting this. So if you have any questions for me at all, if you have any suggestions on what you would want to see in future videos, I know I ask you guys this a lot, but really, like, I honestly do want your input as far as what you want to see from me. For this video, I didn't actually end up getting to do a part 2. I kind of ran short on time, so this is all it's going to be for this time. I love you guys so much. Anything you need from me, reach out to me. Anytime you need someone to listen to you, if I'm not busy, I'll do my best. I just want to make sure that you guys are taking care of yourself and just doing your best every day, because really that is the goal. Do your fucking best every day. There's no such thing as being like anyone else, doing as well as anyone else. Doing your own personal best is the most liberating and satisfying thing that you could ever do in your life. And I love you guys, and I believe that you can do that for yourselves. You are limitless. The world is yours. Just do it. Just do it. Alright, I love you guys. Talk to you next time. Bye.